Well, former Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos says notes from the Flynn case, which were released by the FBI, prove the agency unlawfully targeted the former general. One America's Christina Bobb spoke with Papadopoulos to learn more.
Joining me now from our studio in New York, George Papadopoulos, author of Deep State Target and one of the original targets for the Crossfire Hurricane investigation from the FBI. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to draw your attention to the latest round of documents that have been disclosed in the Michael Flynn case. We know from those notes that the FBI had confirmed that General Flynn's calls came back legitimate. The FBI believed he was being forthright. His statements were consistent with the tech cuts. The agents believed that Flynn believed what he was saying was true. And in a draft memo that was never released, the FBI did not believe that General Flynn was acting as a Russian agent. What is your assessment of those recent disclosures?
I think people like John Ratcliffe, who's now the new DNI, and the former acting DNI, Richard Grenell, did a great service to the American public by declassifying these transcripts, because without actually having these transcripts of General Flynn and the Russian ambassador declassified, we would have been stuck with this old narrative that General Flynn was actually involved in perhaps a quid pro quo with the Russian ambassador over sanctions. So my initial reaction was that we should all applaud the actions, the bold and decisive action by the DNI to declassify this, and it obviously dismantles and obliterates the Russia collusion narrative as a whole.
I think you're absolutely right. And I know that these notes in particular that I just mentioned were from General Flynn's case, but since you are so intimately involved, did this bring up anything for you and trigger ideas about how this could have been involved in your own case?
Well, there have been reports recently that my story is at the center of what John Durham is actually investigating. And if you look into what my story entails, it doesn't have anything to do with Russia or U.S. enemies, and that's exactly why it's such a sensitive matter. And what I think we're going to see moving forward regarding my case is we've already seen it somewhat with declassified transcripts, but I think we might actually start seeing more transcripts declassified regarding various informants who were set to make contact with me and to essentially try to spy on me and sabotage me, to make me some sort of ticking time bomb within the Trump campaign. Of course, that failed, but that's what I predict is going to come out moving forward.
Do any of these notes that have come out recently, or some that hopefully may come out in the future, do they give you a sense of justification at all to say, I knew it, they knew that we weren't actually Russian agents? Do you have any type of emotional reaction to these disclosures?
There's absolutely no term that is more hurtful to be called than a traitor to your country, especially somebody like myself. And I don't want to speak for General Flynn, but I think in this case I can. When you serve your country honorably like General Flynn has, or if you dedicate your life to public service and want to give back the way that I have throughout my entire adulthood in many facts, first starting on the Ben Carson campaign, then joining the Donald Trump campaign, and then to be mingled in this incredible hoax, which I actually take it a step further. I don't even call it a hoax. I call this a premeditated operation targeting the Trump campaign for nefarious purposes. And that's exactly what all the type of information that's coming out seems to suggest and lead to. So when we were called traitors and people going against the country and colluding with a hostile power, that set off incredible emotions for me. And it's something that I'm very happy to see now moving forward as somebody who is exonerated and hopefully vindicated as General Flynn has been recently.
Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much. It was great.
I'm Christina Bobb for One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.